All right, hello everybody. Thank you for tuning in to zZounds Live. This is Justin with zZounds, and we have some awesome amps, as you just heard here, to go over today. They are the Blackstar St. James series, so we have two different versions that I'm playing here today. So per usual, guys, if you guys got any questions, pop them in the chat here. I'll answer them, but we're going to do a deep dive, so get ready to kind of see what these guys can offer us. Namely, we got the amp here to my right. This is the Blackstar EL34 version, and that is the 50 watt head and the cabinet. And then we also have this combo over here, which is the Blackstar 6L6 version of that, also 50 watts. And yeah, we'll be going between the two of these to see the different flavors between those two types. But yeah, they're both great. I just actually played both of them in stereo right now. A couple effects here. The Jam Pedals Ripley Fall and the Wampler Metaverse specifically. We're being routed through this EL34 version, and the other one was dry. The 606 was dry on that first channel. But I wanted to give you guys the stereo versions. So you can kind of see both of them together. But let's start talking about them individually, because they are both very different animals, but share some similarities in their features and everything. So without further ado, let's go to the head over here first. So this is the 50 watt version, the 6L6, or sorry, the EL34 version. And it has a deceivingly simple looking layout, but there's a lot of stuff going on with this amp. So check it out. There's two channels. So first channel is going to be kind of their version of like an American like Fender blackface type channel. So it's a little bit more subdued and does allow you to get really good cleans, which is awesome. So let's hear that. So I'm now in the first channel mode, and if you have the channel probably at about like, 50% or less, that's when I think you really hit like prime clean territory. So let's get that set up so you guys can hear that. Okay, so here's the clean channel on that first one. So let me make sure that's set up. Here we go. And I still got my Ripley Fall on, which makes it sound nice. So I guess we'll keep it on for now. So. So yeah, really awesome, usable, clean channel. You can get a lot of dirt from it too. So I'll turn the Ripley Falls off so you can hear it dry. And got my Wampler Metaverse for delay. Well, now also shut off. All right, so actually dry now, guys. Sounds awesome, and the EQ controls are very sensitive on this, so you can get a lot of room with that. But let's dirty it up a little bit. You guys can see the range of the first channel when it's actually cranked. So here's that first channel with the volume all the way up. Get some big, like, thick crunch tones on it. It's really, really awesome. So that being the clean channel, it's just really great. I loved feeding overdrive pedals and things into this first channel since it was neutral enough that you could actually get really good boosted sounds without having to rely on your drive channel. So I got a couple drive pedals down here. You might as well start doing that right now. So I have a Noble's ODR1 overdrive. So I'll fire this one in on the clean channel. And I'm going to actually clean it up a little bit. We're going to put it more like 50, 60%. So let's fire on the overdrive and boost it a little bit. Oops. just get really warm sounds from it. So I'm gonna kill a little bit of bass. I'm gonna brighten it up a bit. Yeah, just like really, really great saturation. Oh, hey, what's up, Dad? My dad's here on the stream now, so thanks for tuning in. And my girlfriend as well. Hey, so it's a family affair now. So, but thanks for tuning in, guys. So this channel with the overdrives, you get a really great touch sensitivity, and it just kind of feels like an actual boosted old Marshall that's got like a clean boost in front of it. So super, super touch sensitive, and it's got a lot of dynamic range too. So, you know, really clean it up if you're even using an overdrive with that channel. That's how sensitive it is. So, digging full in. So yeah, it sounds awesome. Absolutely loved that first channel. So for those out there who are thinking of buying this amp, do not sleep on that first channel. It is not just a gain monster. These things are just super versatile. So let's actually hear it with a Rat really quick too. That same channel with a Rat. So. So yeah, it's just great. It just handles everything pretty well. And since the EQ is neutral enough on it, but workable, then yeah, you can pretty much pair this with any other pedal. I threw like an old Boss SD1 at it, threw a couple fuzzes as well. There was a Foxy Tone Box, the warm audio pedal I threw at that with an octave up. Sounded really awesome on the first channel. So yeah, it handled everything I threw at it. But because I'm sure we're all curious about it, let's go to channel 2, which is the kind of Marshall voiced channel now versus that kind of Fender blackface first channel we were on. So let's go to channel 2 and we'll hear how that handles. All right, so now we're in channel 2. Let's just hear the bass tone there. This should be neutral right here, no pedals, so. So yeah, much more Marshall-y right out of the gate there. So it sounds really awesome though. So this is just the second channel, and I believe I see that my channel's pretty much cranked. Yeah, I got that gain 2 all the way up, so you guys can hear that. Again, very sensitive though. It's not too gainy if you don't kind of hit it super. So. Love it. This amp's just so great. So great for sensitivity. So yeah, there was a request earlier to throw the Rat on it. So here's the Marshall with the Rat. I'm going to actually turn the volume of the Rat up a teensy bit there. So here's that. So again, even that second channel really loves kind of throwing dirt pedals at it and stuff. So very cool. So let's get a little bit of the range of that channel though. We'll go to less distortion on that. So I'm going to lower the volume 2 gain, and then I'll give you the boosted circuit there, which is even more gain. So you guys can see the range of that second channel. All right, so here we're at like 40% on volume 2 now. So yeah, again, just like a nice crunch tone. So it sounds awesome. And then, like I said, I'll turn it back up. We'll get that boost circuit. So now this is going to be our highest gain tone. So you'll notice this this channel boost switch right here is that second switch. So if I engage that, that's going to push it into that highest gain territory. So really awesome for leads, nice and saturated. Can you play I Want to Be Your Dog on it? Yeah. The special Iggy Pop I Want to Be Your Dog request. Also, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so let's see, where am I at? So we just did the boost circuit. So that's the highest gain that this amp can offer. Otherwise, there's a typical layout for this amp. Bass, middle, treble, the channel volume, a master volume. So just typical good amp. And some Maneskin stuff. I'll get to that in a second, yeah. But yes, a special request for some Maneskin riffs, so. Hell yeah, yes indeed. So this is just a typical amp layout though. So there's one thing that I found interesting with this that was kind of a little bit of a sleeper tip, is that in the second channel here, the middle is actually a boost or a cut. So it actually functions as more of an active EQ. So in the center, the middle is going to be neutral, and anything less than that will be cutting, and anything higher than that will be boosting. So you do have a lot of tone shaping in your mid control. So check it out. So my mid control was just about 60%, so just above neutral. So for the most part, I wasn't really hitting too many mids with it. So check it out. All right, now let's try to do some cutting. So I'll just put the knob all the way to the left. And I think we might notice a little more if I disengage the boost circuit. And then turning it all the way up. So you do have a decent amount of range there for filtering that. So not so extreme though, but it is enough to make it kind of usable so you're not getting like ear piercing like mids on there. Again, another cool part about this is that the bass and middle control, the bass and treble control, they designed to be super interactive with each other. So the bass will really affect how the treble sounds and vice versa. So adjusting bass and treble concurrently also gets a lot of different options. So I'll show you what I mean. Just really cutting treble sensitive. Maybe boosting bass and cutting treble. I had to check if my rat pedal was on because it sounded like a rat pedal was turned on. That's how crazy it actually interacts with the circuit. So I just turned the bass all the way up, treble pretty much all the way down. And then let's kind of do the same. Let's actually fully cut the treble, and we'll increase the, lower the mids a little bit. It just sounds so cool. It almost sounds like an octave fuzz without the fuzz on it almost. So, or sorry, without the octave. You get what I mean. But incredibly interactive controls. So this is kind of the joy of this amp when you dig into it, is like if you're really wanting to tweak those kind of fine details like pick attack or other kind of tone shaping things like that, man, you could just mess around with it all day and get some great stuff. So let me get my treble back in and kind of show you guys where I'm at. So bass up, treble up more. So more of a neutral, like kind of rock guitar tone there. So that's kind of the deal with this guy. It's just really great. But we haven't even talked about the back panel or any of the other functionality of pretty much everything else going on with these amps. So the Blackstar St. James series, they do have the cab rig technology, which is basically their interface with all of their cab sims, microphone sims, and a bunch of tone shaping that you can do with software interfacing with this amp. So I've got my laptop pulled up here. In a quick second, I'll go over that. I just want to go over the 6L6 amp first to show you that tone, and then we'll go back to the EL34 later and mess around with the actual digital cab sims, which will be fun. But it's super, super versatile. This thing has the ability to interface with your computer with the USB output on the back of it. So that's what I'm plugged into my laptop with right now. And it also has a reactive load, so you don't even need to have speakers connected to it. For the first couple days I was messing around with this amp, I just had it sitting on my desk and had the amp in standby mode. In standby, it's actually routing the audio through the USB output still. So you don't even have to have this hooked up to any speakers. You just can put that on your desk, route it into an audio interface. Yeah, just send it to your computer. Super, super handy, especially for a modern musician like me there that really needs to have that kind of quiet ability to record while I'm at home. So anyways, we'll get to the Sims later. Let's go to the 6L6 version. So, all right, and I need to pick up my guitar pick. All right, we're back. All right, cool. So this is the 6L6 version of that amp now. So same deal, 50 watts, has the same functionality. And yeah, let's hear how that sounds versus that EL34 flavor we had. So channel 1 right now. So yeah, super neutral when you get it kind of in the same settings I started with the other amp, which is, let me see where my tone is at. Volume is almost all the way up. So let's turn it up. Let's kind of give it some gas. So once again, you notice I didn't change any of the amp settings. It's just my picking dynamics. So again, this touch sensitivity on these amps are incredible. So yeah, love it. Love it. I like get habitually sucked into playing open chords just because it's so satisfying on like a crunchy tone like that. So very sensitive though, but that's the first channel of the 6L6. So let's do something. Let's go back to the EL34 and I'll show you that first channel on that one for comparison's sake. So check it out. Here's the 6L6 again, the one on the left here. Now we're going to switch over to the EL34 then, and so you can just hear that. So. And then once again back to the 6L6 again. So yeah, similar flavors, but you can hear right away that the tone response and the kind of the weight of some of those chords can be affected by that, tube complement difference. So anyways, let's keep cruising on the 6L6, and occasionally I might pop back and forth for the other one just for a comparison. But yeah, they sound so awesome. So let's go to the second channel on the 6L6 now. So lots to talk about with this guy, but all right, we are in channel 2 now on the second channel. I believe my volume is at about 60% or so, just for clarity's sake. So. So yeah, it sounds great. Love the saturation on that one. And I did not even touch the tone controls. I was just where I was at for the clean channel. So, you know, pretty easy to work with. So let's mess around with the tone, everybody, so we can hear that. My treble, mid, and bass were pretty much all at about 6 or so, pretty neutral. So let's mess around with this. Yeah, you can just hear the treble, how that filters it super heavy. So. So love it. It's just super clear. 606 has like a lot of note definition that I like with chords. So let's mess with the treble. There's pulling out the treble then. So. Really drastic, as you can hear. All right, now let's put more mids and a little more treble, just to kind of smooth it out a little bit. All right, so this is probably more of a setting I'd use. We sound a little bit brighter. All right, I turned the bass up like pretty much all the way up. So once again, we are on channel 2 for these parts of the demonstration. So. And then rolling off my volume knob, you know, some cool, nice little roll off on that. Some cleanup with the volume knob there. So yeah, just overall, it's just a great feeling amp too. That's what I love about it. It's not just kind of some sound there. It just has good sensitivity and feels good to play. But yeah, actually, speaking of that, these things are incredibly light too. Speaking of feeling good, they feel good to move around as well. Because Blackstar actually kind of set out to design these to be as absolutely light as possible for 50-watt amps, because most of the time those are a pain in the ass to move around. This combo right here is only 24 pounds. They designed it that way. This head is 13.2 pounds, so it's incredibly light. The speaker in it was part of it. They designed this Celestion Zephyr speaker. It was supposed to be kind of like a vintage 30 Celestion, but they voiced it and changed around the components there so they can get it as light as possible to make this manageable. And that's why it's part of the reason why it's so light. But yes, for anybody who's going to be gigging a lot, that's a super great thing to have, is like not a backbreakingly huge, heavy, multi-giant transformer amplifier there. So it sounds awesome still. Now let's go back and get that that second channel with the 606 amp here, but we're going to put that boost circuit on, give you guys that sound. So highest gain that this amp will provide us. Let's hear how that sounds. So yeah, awesome. Sounds great. Super saturated. Absolutely love that. And I might be wrong about this, but I believe that actually is the highest gain circuit that Blackstar has like ever made was in this boosted second channel of the amp. So if anybody's hunting for like a super high gain Blackstar, believe it or not, this one will give you the most that they've put in a circuit. So as you can hear, it's very saturated, very cool. Yeah, sounds great. Now let's go to the other channel. We're going to go to the EL34. I'll give you guys the boosted channel for that one. So same deal. You guys can hear the flavor changes. All right, so this is the EL34 then. Yeah, so obviously different for that. So yeah, awesome. And then going back to the 6L6. So yeah, just like a totally different monster. So. I'll tame that a little bit. So yeah, just a totally different animal with this 6L6. It's so awesome. So much different flavors though, as you've heard between the two when you really are pushing it to its extreme. This is more of a Marshall thing. This is more of that like American kind of 6L6, like really thick lows kind of tone. So love this one for kind of chugging. The 6L6 is really great for that. This is getting all my like classic rock stuff out of the way. So so anyways, guys, that's the deal with all of the kind of the channel varieties there. But let's look at the software for a bit. So I'm actually going to switch back to the EL34. That's hooked up to my computer, and I'll show you guys only the cab rig technology and the Blackstar Architect software. That's the software that I'm going to be using there. It's free, has a bunch of really great stuff. So let me switch over, and then I'll get to this software here. So. Okay, so if you put the amp in standby mode, that should still be routing everything to my computer, which is great for silent operation. And yeah, so let's hear how this sounds with just the cab rig technology. All right, guys. So if you're hearing this out here on the stream, hi from Chatsworth, Georgia. Hello, Darren. Hello, greetings. Love zZounds. Love you too, Darren. So thanks for watching right now. For those of you just tuning in, this is actually the amp not played with a mic. We are actually routing it through the cab rig technology. So this is the 412 vintage UK kind of Marshall flavored cabinet. And yeah, let's just jam on this one for a second and hear it. All right, cool. So yeah, absolutely great sounds. Just easily kind of dialing whatever the first preset was here. So if you guys can see this screen here on the stream, you can see the interface. So this is the 412, and you notice that there's two different cabinet choices here in stereo that they're routing. So this one automatically pans it a little left, this one a little right. That's fun. You can mess with the spread of it if you really wanted to. But here is the cab choices there and how to change those. So let's say I wanted to go, cabinet 2, I actually feel like I want to get like maybe a smaller one. Let's do like a 212 closed USA classic type one, blended with the previous one I had. So yeah, sounds good, feels good. It's all just really fun. So let's just play a couple different cabinet combinations. And if any of you guys out there in the chat want to drop in a different type of cabinet that you'd like to hear, or a blend of some, then just let me know. Otherwise, I'll just be experimenting here, kind of live for us. You guys can hear what's happening. So let's do a 412 modern UK ceramic. And then how about let's just do something weird and just throw like a 112 in there with the other side and see what that sounds like. So yeah, sounds pretty great. So you can get tons of little variances and combinations of blending between those. Or if you wanted, you could even mute, the second channel if you're like, oh no, I just want to run just this 412 or whatever. That's what that sound would be by itself, see? Or maybe just the 112 there. So really the flavors and the blending of the two is really where it's fun. So you guys get the point. But check it out. There is separate EQ controls that you can adjust for each of those cabinets. So if you're like, oh, this isn't thick enough, I need more bite from this, then just go to the EQ here and you can kind of tweak to your heart's content there. There's even low cut and high cut knobs there, which are handy if you want just like a shelf. So anyways, last part of it is the microphone selection. So you can choose what mic kind of impulse there, what a simulated mic you'd like to use for it. So let's say, okay, I'm going to go to a 121. It's supposed to be like a Royer 121. Let's go choose that one for that first cab. Let's see how this changes the tone there. So it feels a little darker on the 121. So you'll notice very subtle changes. It's kind of something that I think if you're really like recording and maybe experimenting with very specific sounds that you want to dial in, then this is kind of what it's probably being, who it's being geared towards. Just like very subtle changes in response and EQ there. But you can shape the tone with the equalizer and the choice of cab and microphone to make pretty drastically different results. So it's very fun. If you're any tweakers out there who like messing with tone like this with software, this is perfect for it. It's very easy. It's, a very simple interface, and that's great. So I like messing around with stuff a lot and having a lot of control, but if I'm really busy working a lot, then the last thing I want to do is mess with too many menus. I just want to dive in and get this immediate kind of interface like this. So it worked perfect for me this week. Anyways, that is your choices for the software. And then once again, you have different choices of your room that it's in to give different sounds. So let's put like the medium room there, a damped medium room, by the way. So for those of you out there, it should be easy to hear, I hope, because it's drastic enough, but it just kind of simulates just that effect of an amplifier being played in maybe a larger room, maybe kind of more of a reflection sound from the amp. So once again, you can tweak and tweak and tweak, and it's really great. So free software too. You can download it right from the Blackstar website there. I believe once you register your product, then you should be able to get all the downloads. Very, very cool. So guys, that is the USB section of this, routing that. You can also hook it up to an interface with the XLR output on the back. So I did that while I was practicing with this amp. Turned it off in standby, silent, just had an XLR running out into my interface and was taking a signal there and recording stuff and having fun. But it also has an effects loop. So effects loop is what I'm running some of these pedals that I have here. The Wampler Metaverse, the Jam pedals, Ripley Fall. Those two are getting routed through the effects loop. And that also has a 10 decibel boost or a 4 decibel cut for the effects loop as well, just for extra tweaking if you need it. And yeah, that pretty much covers most everything, guys. It's got a headphone and a line out as well. We're running the line on this because it's a stereo line, so we can get a stereo signal for this. But yeah, guys, that's kind of the beauty of these amps. They're full tube amps, but they also can be kind of used digitally as well, because it is 2022 right now. It's a modern world. I want to have interface to my computer for recording, for a million things, but I also just want a really great sounding tube amp. So Blackstar was really smart to kind of make these kinds of amps, because they're kind of, I think, hitting the sweet spot on, you know, what the modern player needs. So they're light, they sound good, the cab rigs sound good too, so I'm a pretty big fan of these. And yeah, if you guys have any last things that you'd like to know about the amps or tones you'd like to see, then pop it in the chat now. Otherwise, I believe I had a request for a Maneskin riff, so I think I'll just have to play a Maneskin riff to close us out then, right? So oh yeah, we'll do both amps too. I'll try to get the dirty channel on both of them. So let me set that up really quick. Stereo, both 6L6 and EL34 amp. Insta squeal here. All right, hold on. So all right, we got both amps. Let's see how this sounds. Let's do that. So there you go. Fire. Yeah. Maneskin, for sure. Yeah. So both amps, guys. And last minute, if you guys got anything else you want to see, pop it now. Otherwise, guys, hope you liked this kind of deep dive into the Blackstar series. Big fan of these. Think they're great. I believe this one is, the heads are priced at $11.99.99. I believe the combos are $12.99.99, if I remember correctly. And they are available on zZounds, so please go to our website if you feel like picking one of these up. Highly recommend them. Do not sleep on that first channel on either of these amps as well. They're super great. And yeah, go over to the site. We'll probably have the link in the chat again here for those products, and it was posted before as well. So yeah, just check these out, guys. Blackstar's really done a great job with these amps, and the cab rig technology is excellent as well. So thanks for watching my demo here. And tune in next time when we explore some more products live. So thanks again, guys.